Hello students, today we are going to discuss a poem that is written by a very famous romantic poet John Keats. The title of the poem is Ode to Beauty. The poem is included in the syllabus of BA Part 1st, Paper 1st. First of all, we will discuss about the poet John Keats. John Keats was the son of a London stable keeper. John Keats belonged to the Romantic period, the theme of which was return to nature. Of the English Romantic poets, he was the last to be born and the first to die. The Romantic poets believed that the materialistic world, which was emerging fast during those days due to industrial revolution, has given birth to greed, corruption, lust, and craze for material things. The Romantic poets thus escaped to the rustic life in order to get closer to nature, which, according to them, is the ultimate source of peace, happiness, and joy. John Keats is famous for writing about beauty, and other Romantic poets like Wordsworth wrote about nature, S.T. Coleridge wrote about supernatural, and John Keats wrote about beauty. The present poem, Ode to Beauty, is actually the first stanza of poetic romance Endymion by John Keats, which was published in 1818. The romance is based on the Greek myth of love between Endymion, a shepherd, and the moon goddess. The opening line of this poem, "A thing of beauty is joy forever," has come to stay as a dictum. The poem is about the poet's views on beauty and its importance in life. It epitomizes beauty as an eternal and immortal entity in human world where nothing is certain. The poem begins as, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep, full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing." The poem begins with the famous line, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever," meaning that a beautiful thing always gives joy to human beings. It will never pass into nothingness, which means its beauty will never die. Instead of its loveliness increases. The poet then compares the thing of beauty with a number of other things to describe how much important it is for us. According to poet, it is a bower quiet for us. That is, it is like the peaceful shade of plants for us. It is a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. By comparing the thing of beauty with all these things, the poet wants to prove that it has a significant role to play in the life of human beings. He further says, "Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching, yes, in spite of all. Some shade of beauty moves away the pale from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in." The poet says that as the thing of beauty is fundamentally important to us, every morning we collect the flower like charm of the beautiful things and make a band of it that gives us joy. There are unhappy moments in our life we lack nature in the inhuman materialistic life, we have to face unhealthy ways, grief, and even failures. But in spite of all these gloomy things, a thing of beauty takes away all these troubles and gives us joy and peace. The poet gives example of things of beauty that gives us joy and happiness. Examples include the sun, the moon, trees old and young that grow up and give peaceful shade to our spirit, daffodils that make the earth green, pure and cool streams, and clear rills means streams. Trees old and young, sprouting a shady bone for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills. These are the example of things which represent beauty. That for themselves a cooling convert make against the hot season, the mid-forest break, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. There are summers in which the fair musk rose blooms, and that shine, that sparkle the season. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heaven spring. Finally, the poet refers to the beauty of the grandeur, magnificent and impressive memory of the mighty dead. That means the martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the good cause, for their country, for their people. There is the joy of the lovely tales that we have heard or read, which we hear about them. Thus, nature is the endless fountain of immortal drink, which it pours onto us from the heavens' brink. The line means that nature gives us immortal joy that comes from heaven, and hence it is the ultimate source of happiness. So, in this poem, John Keats has described the value of beauty and how beauty provides happiness to, how beauty provides joy to human beings. Thank you.